The 2022-23 season is now at its business end, and a lot of interesting plots are beginning to thicken. Will Arsenal finally win the league for the first time in nearly 2 decades? Will Real Madrid win back-to-back Champions League titles for the second time in the last 10 years? Will Pep Guardiola equal Sir Alex Ferguson by both completing the Premier League three-peat and winning the European treble? All of these possibilities are very mouth-watering, but today we want to focus on the possibility of Manchester City becoming only the second ever Premier League side to complete the European treble. The treble is the cleanest show of complete dominance in European football. You win the Champions League, league title and the domestic cup all in the same season. Damn. That just shows you a boss everywhere. Pure dominance. And this season, Manchester City might just achieve it for the first time in their history, becoming only the second English club to do it, matching the achievement of crosstown rivals Manchester United. But this isn't new territory for Pep Guardiola, not at all. He has done this before. In fact, in his first season as a professional coach at Barcelona, not only did he complete the treble, he won a sextuple. That is, he won every single competition he played in that season. However, since winning the Champions League twice in 3 years back at Barcelona, he has failed to win it again in any of his other clubs, and he's been under so much pressure to do so because of how much money he has spent through the years. 10 years after his last Champions League triumph, he came close to winning another one. But Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel had other plans, so the pressure continues to rise. Now, this doesn't mean that Pep Guardiola has been a failure at City, not at all. These days, Manchester City win Premier League titles and domestic cups almost every season, which is something you could not say before Pep came in. But with how much has been invested in the club since he joined, it seems like Pep needs the top prize in European football to crown his efforts, and he looks poised to give the club owners a robust return on investment this season with the European treble. But we won't allow ourselves to get too carried away. Honestly, every other season, the media talk about the possibility of City winning a European treble, sometimes even a quadruple. But this season has been quieter than most because of how they started. And that makes us think, might it be this season finally? With just a few Premier League matches, 1 FA Cup game, and possibly 3 UEFA Champions League matches left in the season, the next 2 months will be very crucial for Man City's treble aspirations. In the Premier League, City look poised to leapfrog Arsenal to the top of the table and steal the title. The Manchester club appears to have entered a different gear in the last few weeks, while their London rivals have been stumbling a lot. So, the odds of winning the Premier League this season, which have been in Arsenal's favour for the longest time, now appear to be shifting towards Manchester City. And then, they have players like De Bruyne, Gundogan, Foden and Bernardo Silva, who, from previous seasons, have amassed enough experience in battling for the Premier League till the very end. And don't forget they also added an otherworldly goal machine and a World Cup winner last summer, so the team is arguably even better than the last time they fought for the league until the last day. On the flip side, while City have a history of being in close fights for league titles and coming out on top, Arsenal have a history of bottling league titles when it's in their hands, so at this point, you really cannot bet against City. In the FA Cup, they're just 1 game away. Huge game, yes, but still just 1 football match away from winning the trophy. And although United have looked really good this season, Man City will always be favourites in that game. Apart from the fact that they're the better team on paper, Pep Guardiola is simply a cup final specialist. He has only ever lost a domestic cup final to one man, Jose Mourinho. So, unless United sack Ten Hag and hire the special one before the 3rd of June, we would always back Pep in that game. But it won't be an easy game at all. Yes, United are not as good, and will be even missing some key players due to injury, but they have one huge motivation: protecting their legacy. Till date, Manchester United remains the only football club in England to complete a European treble, doing it back in 1999. Surely they would want to retain that status, and now that they have an opportunity to stop that treble from happening, you bet they will give it their all. It's bad enough that another English team is threatening to complete a European treble, but the noisy neighbours? Nah, hell nah. We trust that United will not be going down without a fight, so Pep better be prepared. In the Champions League, they will also face a huge brawl. They face defending champions Real Madrid over 2 legs in the semi-final, and it won't be easy at all. Again, on paper, Man City have the better players. But it was the same story last season, when Real Madrid knocked them out thanks to an absolutely unbelievable comeback in the final minutes of the second leg. Now, obviously, Pep and City will be looking to take revenge on Madrid for last season, and they have a lethal weapon which they didn't have last season, in Erling Haaland. But then, this is Real Madrid we're talking about here. Playing them in the Champions League is never straightforward, nor is it ever easy. For Manchester City's treble hopes to really reach the final lap, we believe they would have to toil, sweat and labour, because knocking out Real Madrid from the Champions League is not an easy job at all. But Pep and City look like they're in the mood for revenge this season. They already took revenge on Tuchel for 2021 by knocking out his Bayern team pretty comfortably in the quarter-final. And they will be looking to take revenge on Real Madrid for last year by knocking them out of the semi-final in May. And honestly, if they manage to get past Real Madrid, that would mean they already have one hand on the Champions League trophy, because you'd expect them to beat any one of the Milan teams that make it to the final. Of course, we're not just writing the Italians off, but we don't expect that, after beating Bayern and Madrid, City would now fold against Milan or Inter. Having said all this, do we think Manchester City can actually win the treble this season? Honestly, yes. They are the only one of the 4 Champions League semi-finalists truly in the running for that honour. And they actually have experience completing a treble, not just the treble. In the 2018-19 season, Pep Guardiola led Man City to success in the Premier League, FA Cup and EFL Cup, thereby completing the domestic treble. With that, they became the first English club in history to achieve that feat. That season, the Premier League title race also went down to the wire, with City eventually beating Liverpool to the title by just 1 point. So yeah, you can indeed draw some similarities with this season. But surely, winning a European treble would certainly surpass that achievement from 4 years ago. And even though they may never admit it in public, we're sure the City boys have their eyes on that. Pep particularly has been playing down the whispers of a potential treble thus far. He was asked about it in a recent interview, and his answer was typical. He joked that Man United and their fans need not be scared about City equaling their gargantuan achievement from '99, stating that they are neighbours, and neighbours are always nice to each other. Well, I doubt Pep will be playing nice when the neighbours lock horns at Wembley on the 3rd of June. Anyway, Pep can say whatever he wants, but we're sure that the whispers of the European treble for City will continue to grow louder with each game they win. But do you guys think Pep Guardiola can really do this? Can Man City become the 8th club in history and just the 2nd from England to complete a European treble? Can Pep himself become the first coach in history to complete 2 European trebles? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.